guys, welcome back to the channel and thank you so much for clicking on today's video. If it is your first time on the channel, welcome. And my name is Ash and I mostly talk about the L word and other LGBTQ stuff. Big focus on the L. So today I'm starting a new series and that is called That's So Gay. And I'm basically going to talk about the LGBTQ representation in certain TV shows, and mostly I'm going to be focusing on the lesbian and bisexual representation. Today we are kicking off this new series with one of my absolute favorite shows. I've watched it since day one for 17 years. It's probably the most consistent thing in my life, and that is Grey's Anatomy. So if you've been living under a rock for some reason, Grey's Anatomy is a medical drama on ABC, and it is just a juggernaut. It is the #1 rated show. It's been on for 17 years and it really has an amazing cast, and we have been extremely lucky when it comes to lesbian representation and LGBTQ representation, as we have Jessica Capshaw, who plays Arizona Robbins. She is the longest standing lesbian character on television, clocking in a massive 228 episodes, and Sara Ramirez is the longest serving LGBTQ plus character on a television show, and Sarah clocks in with a even slightly bigger 239 episodes. So as long as you don't mind a little bit of spoilers, that's fine to carry on if you haven't seen Grey's Anatomy, but it would help if you paused this video, went and watched the 17 seasons, aka 369 episodes, and then came back and watched this. But most of the LGBT representation starts after season 4, and I'll explain why in a second, but let's get right into our video today. And as I said, if you're a huge Grey's Anatomy fan or you've never seen an episode, you hopefully will be able to follow along pretty well. So kick back, relax, hit subscribe, and let's talk about why Grey's Anatomy is so gay. Again, we have quite a list of LGBTQ characters in that at the moment there is Nico and Schmidt, and most recently there also was Dr. Casey Parker. And then for our lesbian representation, we have Erica Hahn, Teddy Altman, Eliza Minnick, Penny Blake, Leah Murphy, Lauren Boswell, and our main focuses of this episode, who will be Dr. Arizona Robbins and Dr. Callie Torres. So I will mention some of the other characters as we're going along, but Callie and Arizona are going to be the main focuses of this video, and their relationship, and as individuals too, because they both were on the series for a really significant time, and they were one of the main couples throughout their whole time on Grey's. So as I said in the beginning, there were no lesbian characters when Grey's Anatomy started all the way back in 2005. So what made them introduce some? Well, it wasn't actually a really great story as to why they started introducing LGBTQ characters into Grey's. And that was because in 2007, Isaiah Washington, who played one of the lead characters at the time, Preston Burke, was caught calling T.R. Knight, who was another star of the show at the time. He was playing George O'Malley. Washington was caught calling T.R. Knight a really horrible slur, and this of course got out. It was all in the press. Everybody knew about it, and Washington didn't really, I mean, it was a horrible thing to do, but he also kind of went in the offensive, and in the beginning he denied it, but then someone had recorded it, and then he tried to do some damage control and went to like GLAAD and did speeches at the Emmys, but yeah, people were really mad, and Shonda Rhimes just didn't think his, apology tour was good enough, and she did not renew his contract for the next season. So the writing staff, producers, everybody decided that they were going to use this opportunity to insert some LGBTQ characters into the show, and the relationship between Erica Hahn and Callie Torres started to develop in season 4 and really started to develop further in the beginning of season 5. Now, both actresses were on full-time contracts. They were both lead characters at the time, and Callie obviously had other relationships on the show, even being married to George at one stage. So it was the first same-sex relationship for both women, and it did start off in the beginning a bit like male gazy, and Callie would talk to Mark Sloan, and it was, him being like excited by two women. So I kind of understand a little bit about why they backtracked with this. So everybody, when Erica and Callie started going out, everyone thought like, oh, this is going to be, a long-term thing. Both actresses were contracted on the show for the rest of the season. There was 24 episodes that season. And in season 5, episode 6, Life During Wartime, Callie and Erica sleep together for the first time, and Erica has this huge revelation. She does this really amazing speech that at the time as well just really resonated with audiences, especially LGBTQ audiences. And everybody thought, oh yes, we're gonna get this great like lesbian couple, it's gonna be amazing. And then just one episode later, season 5 episode 7, Rise Up, all of a sudden Erica and Callie have this huge argument over a patient, and Erica's gone, the actress is fired, and we never see her again. So that was extremely strange. And I remember at the time, I was probably 21, 22. And again, it's like one of the first times we've ever gotten something like this on a mainstream show with main characters. And I remember being so angry because we literally had this amazing build up and relationship and a really great episode the one before, and then it was done. And I mean, we didn't know this at the time, but things were going to get better in a huge way. But it still was a really strange move, and I think that they kind of started things off on the wrong foot, and then they realized their mistake, put an end to it, and then started off on the right foot when in season 5, episode 11, Wish You Were Here, they introduced Dr. Arizona Robbins, played by the amazing Jessica Capshaw. And Jessica Capshaw was later bumped up to series regular in season 6, episode 1. And from that episode, we had Callie and Arizona starting off on their enormous relationship, and things started off a little bit strange. Arizona going into the bar bathroom and kissing Callie, and then backtracking a little bit when she found out that Callie was a baby gay. But of course they could not stay separated for too long, and things kicked off in a big way for them. So I'm not really going to sit here and just tell you exactly what happened between their relationship, because watching Grey's Anatomy is a far better way to do that. And there's also some really great videos on YouTube that are just Callie and Arizona's scenes or their story. So I'll link some of those in the description box down below. But I am going to talk about the kind of best 5 things they did for Callie and Arizona, and the 5 things that were the worst choices. So let's start off by talking about the good and the best things, the best portrayal, the best representation, and the things that we all loved about Arizona and Callie. So the first thing to say is the fact that they had Callie and Arizona, and in the very beginning Erica Hahn, played by the lead actresses. They were key members of the ensemble show, and if they weren't too concrete about what they were doing, or it was more of just, you know, the way they have these like lesbian kiss sweeps week where all they want to do is bring in high ratings for it's not such a big thing now, sweeps, but like back when there was the May sweeps and all the season finales were on, and there's a lot of this where they would bring in LGBTQ characters just for a few weeks, or just to like use that storyline and have someone come out, and it would be just either a guest star or a minor character, and they would come out and be a central character for only a few weeks and then kind of fade away into the background, and their queerness was never brought up again. So I love that it wasn't the only thing about Callie and Arizona that they were lesbians and in a lesbian relationship, or a bisexual and a lesbian, but it was just a part of the multifaceted characters that they were. So I really liked that they had the main characters, and they didn't try and like pussyfoot around and say, oh, we just have this minor character that is coming in to come out to kind of, because at the time too, people were really, really angry about like the whole Isaiah Washington thing and the TR Knight thing, and you know, TR Knight was kind of outed through this whole thing, and it really, really was reflecting poor on the set. So I think that they did the absolute best thing they could here, and having Sara Ramirez, a very strong actor, come out, be front and center, and then to also bring in Jessica Capshaw, who, you know, she's not in unfamiliar territory, having been on the L Word playing Nadia alongside Jennifer Beals and all the other amazing cast of the L Word. So it was a really good decision on their part to have Callie and Arizona as main characters and very much one of the main couples on the show. Number 2, I kind of got into that a little bit there, and the fact is they were so much more than just being the lesbians on the show, and they never really treated them that way, especially Arizona. I know I'm saying but I mean like lesbian relationship. I know that Callie's bisexual, but whenever Arizona was brought into the show, she was a very strong, confident woman, and we also learned about her that she knew she was gay from a very young age. That was something that really like cemented with me, because I was the exact same way, and I just really loved that there wasn't this like forced constantly talking about them being out or their coming out story, and their sexual orientation was just one part of them, and there was so much more to them that it wasn't such a huge thing all the time. In the beginning, obviously, it wasn't very easy for Callie's family to accept her, and there was a lot of contention, and it wasn't a great time for Callie. And even when they did get married and had a daughter, you know, Callie's parents weren't at the wedding, and then her dad did come in at the end, and he completely was accepting her and saying, you know, as long as Arizona makes you happy. But it was a really sad ending about her mom, and her mom wasn't at her daughter's wedding, and wasn't really spending any time or bonding with her granddaughter. Like, that's really sad. And it is important to show those things, because although, you know, gay marriage is legal in the US and the UK and most other like European countries, that there are still places in the world that people are literally fearful of their lives for being out. But it's also important to remember that although it is, you know, predominantly great for a lot of people in the US and Europe, there are people that, be it their cultural background or their religious background or whatever it is, that people in the US, the UK, France, Spain, they are not accepted by their family. And even looking at places like in California and LA, half the homeless population are LGBTQ. Like, that is insane. So it is really important to recognize that although it has got so much better and we've come on leaps and bounds, even in the time that Grey's Anatomy has been on the air in the last 17 years, but there's still a lot to get done. There's a lot of work to be done, and we still got to keep fighting for rights for everyone. Number 3 is something that in the earlier days I really, really appreciated. And although it did get changed a little bit, I still appreciate the way it was done. And that's the fact that before Callie and Arizona got married, and they were talking about, you know, the future and the relationship and things, Arizona very much stated that she did not want to have children. You know, it was not something that she saw in her future, and she really liked her life the way it was. And of course, this devastated Callie, who very much did want children. And what I really appreciated is Callie went away and thought that she'd, you know, cracked Arizona, because Arizona's brother, her only sibling, was killed in combat. And when Callie was, you know, talking to Mark about everything, Callie said to Arizona afterwards, you know, I understand you're scared of the baby dying. Or so Callie thought that she'd uncovered this brokenness in Arizona and said to her, you know, I know you're scared because your brother died and all this stuff. And Arizona said to her, like, I'm not broken. I don't have some big thing that you need to solve, and I just don't want children, and that doesn't make me less of a woman or make me a bad person. And I just really, really love that, because there's not a lot of representation for people who just don't want children. Like, Arizona's a pediatric surgeon. She's great with kids. She loves kids, but it's just not the right thing for her. And as she says, she really likes her life. She likes the way everything is. It's just not something, it's not a piece that she needs to feel completed. And although she did end up having a kid, it was nice to have that validation that you do not need to have a child to be a woman. Number 4 is something that, okay, sue me, it's just one of those silly little things that makes me smile. And that is when they had the episode where they showed their wedding and their marriage. Like, it was just brilliant. I loved it. They had them both in like gorgeous wedding dresses. It was a total big fancy white wedding. And I've talked about this in some of my other videos before, that some people, you know, probably my age and older growing up, everybody does have that little bit of internalized homophobia. And sometimes these shows or movies will try and do the whole, you know, one masculine, one feminine, and have one of the women in like a suit and the other in a dress. And there are all these like questionnaires and surveys that always say people are more comfortable when there's one masculine presenting woman and one feminine presenting one. And it's like, not here to make anyone else comfortable. Like, if there's two masculine women, if there's two feminine, if there's two whatever, it doesn't matter. It's two women, so get over it. And I just love that they didn't feel this pressure to do that, because all the time you have people saying, oh, well, you're like wearing makeup and feminine, so oh, that means that your girlfriend must be, you know, like the man, because we all know in a relationship with two women there's always got to be a man, right? So just big kudos to them for doing the exact right thing, because Callie totally would have wanted a big white wedding like that, and Arizona would have given Callie whatever she wanted. So it makes total sense. And number 5 is just the fact that their relationship, albeit totally dramatized and, you know, really soapy, it is Grey's Anatomy, that their relationship was real. It wasn't just this spectacle that got trotted out whenever there was sweeps on, or there was a, you know, the finale or the premiere. It was a real relationship that had real ups and downs, a lot of ups and downs. But again, it's Grey's Anatomy. You know, one week there's a shooting, the next week there's a plane crash, the next week there's a bomb. So what are you going to do? I'm just really glad that we got to see Callie and Arizona front and center, and two amazing people portraying them, and I couldn't be happier to have them as representation right in the forefront. So on to the things that, I'm not going to say the bad things, but my light critiques of their relationship and the representation that they had. And you know, some of these things they've tried to fix over time, and there's some things that they still could fix. I mean, I'm definitely planning on doing a Station 19 version of That's So Gay, because they also have some issues with, you know, a bit of, they use Karina and Maya a lot in the posters and promotional material, but then they don't appear too much. So all of this stuff is just meant as a critique. And again, I love Callie and Arizona, so not complaining, just advising. Number 1 is just one of those tropes that is really, really overplayed on television, and that is the cheating bisexual. So when Arizona goes to Africa without Callie and they break up, Callie sleeps with Mark, gets pregnant, and we just have Arizona just always seems to be super paranoid that Callie is gonna run off with a man. Like, we never even really see her bothered by Callie having any relationships with women. And even the one time, it's when they're still having like the kids discussion, that a woman actually hits on Callie and gives her number on her hand, and Arizona definitely doesn't have the same reaction she has to when Callie is even just around Mark or other men. So Grey's also has this problem at the moment with Teddy Altman, who is a long-standing character that, again, they didn't reveal until way down the road that she was bisexual, and her relationship with another woman was way back, like before Teddy and the show even existed. So Teddy is given a lot of like cheating storylines too, and it's and the woman that she was with, the woman was actually another relationship with someone. So again, it's Grey's Anatomy, and like there's a lot of cheating and like soap opera stuff, but I just really wish they'd be more sensitive about this issue, because it is one that they are constantly playing on TV, and very much in the sense that bury your gays, cheating bisexual, like those are two storylines that have been way overdone. Number 2 kind of connects like a little bit with the one of the good ones, and that is Callie and Arizona just could never really catch a break and never be happy. And again, it's Grey's Anatomy. And every week there's, plane crashes or something. So I really wish that period, like after they got married, there was a period of like a season that they were happy. And there was just always so much drama. And when there was something really good that happened, like Arizona asked Callie to marry her, literally 5 seconds later their crash and Callie's through the windscreen and the baby's being born like super prematurely. So there's just they're happy and married, and then Arizona's in a plane crash and her leg gets cut off, and then they finally get back together, and then Arizona cheats, and it's just it's a whole mess. And I just could have done with a little bit of happiness, but again, like, hello, Meredith Grey. Number 3 is just the lightness of Callie and Arizona when it comes to their physical representation of their relationship on screen, because anytime there was like any kissing, any bedroom scenes, anything like that, I have to be careful with what I say on YouTube because they already heavily limit LGBTQ channels, so I don't want to give them any more ammunition. But anything when it came to like kissing or in the bedroom or something, it was always like a split second. Like there's a couple of scenes like when Lexi walks in and they're in the shower, and even just scenes with them like having physical relations that they're like split second, and then it cuts away. They're shot really far away, or it's dark, and you don't really see that with other couples. Like they are in on call rooms, and you're definitely on the couple, like the camera is rolling for way longer than anything with Callie and Arizona. It's always like stolen little glances and stolen kisses, and it's really quick. And I obviously understand it's a show that's on at mostly 9 p.m. and it's on ABC. Like you're not gonna get some like L-word Showtime scene, but there's a noticeable difference between Callie and Arizona and any of the LGBTQ scenes, physical scenes, and the heterosexual ones. So take that with what you will. Number 4 is a bit more actor specific, but the fact that Jessica Capshaw was let go. I know the way they report it sometimes is that she was fired, but her contract just wasn't renewed. And it honestly is the closest I've ever come to not watching Grey's. I don't think I could do that to myself, but Jessica Capshaw was on the show from season 5 until season 14. She wanted to come back. She thought she was coming back. Her contract was not renewed. And season 15, there were no LGBTQ characters on Grey's Anatomy. There was a minor trans character in season 14, 15, and 16, and he is no longer on the show. Now there is a main gay male character in season 15 and 16, Dr. Schmidt, and then there's another minor gay male character, Nico. I think that he's a main character now too, but there's still no lesbian characters since Arizona left. There's bisexual character of Teddy, and then again that wasn't revealed until a pretty recent season. So I was really, really bitter about Jessica Capshaw not coming back. She is absolutely phenomenal. I love her as an actress. I think that Arizona has obviously, like, she's, the longest running lesbian character on television, but I really think they did us dirty with that one. And that leads me in to my number 1 gripe, number 5, whatever you want to call it, with Grey's Anatomy's representation and Callie and Arizona is the fact that we don't have no goddamn closure when it comes to them. And the last thing we got about them was a freaking text message. Like, are you fucking kidding me? It makes me so angry. So Sara Ramirez was in like a exclusive contract with CBS, and Sara asked to come back to Grey's to like wrap up Arizona and Callie's storyline. Like, they would have been happy together. We would have seen that at the end of season 14, and CBS said no, even though that they have previously let other people go back to Grey's to wrap stuff up. So I know that season 17, we're still up in the air about if Grey's is coming back. If it is not, and this is the end, I will be absolutely furious if this is the last season, this short like COVID season. My wrath will be unbelievable, but we need another season. We need season 18, nice clean number. I'd really like a season 20, but I'm not going to be greedy. And season 18, we need everything cleared up. We need everybody back in the land of the living. We need some good old-fashioned surgery, and I need Callie and Arizona closure. That's all I'm asking for. I'll forgive everything else. I need to know what happened. I need to know if they're back together in New York and happy. I mean, in my head they are, but I need to see it on the goddamn screen. So that's all the good and bad about Callie and Arizona and their representation. I mean, when it comes to the other characters, there's, you know, minor characters like Leah Murphy, like Lauren Boswell, that, you know, they were there for a short period of time and did what they needed to do. Then there's Eliza Minnick, who, another character that seemed like they were going somewhere and something was happening, and they literally disappeared into the night, and Arizona went in, the apartment was like empty. So I just wish that they'd wrap these things up a little bit more, because I mean, like, I don't understand why they just wouldn't. So Erica Hahn probably went off into the night like Eliza Minnick. Again, the only, you know, female LGBTQ representation that's on the show at the moment is Teddy Altman, but she is in a whole mess of Owen Karasik love triangle thing. So would like to see something happening there with Teddy, and she gets some sort of happy ending too. But the woman that she was with has obviously passed away, so I don't know what's going to happen there. But I know that the actress who plays her is definitely around for a little bit longer. So yeah, my bottom line is Callie and Arizona, we deserve some closure. Like, we need to see them happy and together. I've given 17 years of my goddamn life to this show, so would really appreciate it, guys. And so that is pretty much it for this first episode of That Is So Gay. I will be back very soon with another episode, and I mean, if you have any ideas for shows, please let me know. Some of the ones I'm going to be doing are, of course, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, ER, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, shows like that where there are main LGBTQ characters, emphasis on the L and the B, and the female ones, obviously. So I would really, really like to hear all of your guys' idea for that. There's not a huge amount, but I will do like another part for Station 19. So thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please check out all the videos on my channel. Mostly talk about the L word, but some other LGBTQ stuff. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, as you'll be notified whenever I post the next episode. And if you enjoyed the video today, if you need Callie and Arizona closure, click that like button, and don't be afraid to share this video with any LGBTQ Grey's Anatomy groups that you're in. Of course, if you would like to talk to me live, I do a live every Friday on YouTube at 7 p.m. UK, 2 p.m. Eastern, and 11 a.m. Pacific. And also, don't forget to follow me on social media, especially Instagram. I post a lot over there. The L Word, Grey's Anatomy, Orange is the New Black, all that sort of stuff. And if you would like to support the channel, I also have a merch store, and I mostly do L Word merchandise. So click that link in the description box if you want to check any of that out. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to stay safe, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.